Hello there, my name is Pavos Telmach, and now we'll unveil the top news of recent days. The United States is preparing a new package of military assistance to Ukraine. Despite the crisis in Congress, the United States is working on a new package of military assistance for our country. According to sources of Reuters, this week the administration of President Biden is expected to announce a military aid package for Ukraine worth about $200 million. Reuters informs that the composition of the package is still being formed. It is scheduled to be announced in Brussels on Wednesday at the 16th Ramstein format meeting. New package may include similar ammunition and armored vehicles that were in the last 8 packages. Since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the United States has provided Kyiv with over 43.9 billion US dollars in military aid, according to official figures. And now Russia is trying to discredit official Kyiv. To do this, it spreads disinformation about alleged ubiquitous corruption in Ukraine.
The Russian Central Intelligence Agency has already handed over to Hamas terrorists captured during the hostilities in Ukraine trophy weapons manufactured in the USA and EU states. The next step, according to the plan of the Russians, should be fake accusation of the Ukrainian military in the alleged sale of Western weapons to terrorists on a legal basis. As part of the Kremlin's disinformation campaign, these fakes should form the basis of a number of revealing publications and investigation in the Western media. Another provocation by the enemy is aimed at discrediting the armed force of Ukraine and the complete cessation of military aid to our country from Western partners. Report of Defense Intelligence of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine.
Moscow expects that the aggravation of the situation in the Middle East will divert the attention and resources of the West from helping Ukraine, and the Russians will try to use democracy and free elections to weaken support from the West. In particular, due to the support of pro-Russian parties in various countries, the victory of pro-Russian forces in the parliamentary elections in Slovakia will not affect further EU assistance in Ukraine. Ukraine stands in solidarity with the people of Israel, sympathizes with the victims, and strongly condemns Hamas terrorism in Israel. The horrific acts of violence committed by Hamas terrorists in Israel accurately repeat the behavior of Russian invaders in Bucha, Irpin, and other cities at the beginning of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The scale of the Hamas operation indicates its planned nature and significant organizational efforts. It is unlikely to have been implemented without involving powerful external forces. Russia has the relevant experience and interest in global destabilization. Russian propaganda blatantly gloats over the tragedy of the people of Israel, and Ukraine supports the people of Israel in every possible way. Just take a look. These are shots of Sunday evening Kyiv. We understand Israel's pain. We understand what it is like when your country is invaded.
The terrorists themselves gave the world footage of the atrocities and were proud of them. Women who were beaten, elderly people who were kidnapped from their homes, abducted children, and we do not yet know how many people were captured and brutally taken away by the terrorists. They even tried to humiliate the dead by mocking their bodies. And we saw all of this in Israel. And the Israelis themselves, Israeli journalists who were here in Ukraine, who were in Bucha, are now saying that they saw the same evil where Russia came. The same evil. And the only difference is that there is a terrorist organization that attacked Israel, and here is a terrorist state that attacked Ukraine.
Moscow is trying to tie Ukraine to terrorists by spreading fake news about the alleged use of Ukrainian weapons during the attack on Israel. This information has no evidence and is completely false. Instead, the militants use export versions of Russian-made weapons. This is clearly recorded on video footage from the field and confirmed by the reports of Russian propagandists. Russia's ally, Iran, has supported Hamas terrorists too. The Moscow-Tehran axis of evil is a direct threat to the whole world. Ukraine calls on Israel to closer coordination of efforts to counter the threat from Russia. Neither neutrality nor distancing of the Israeli authorities will bring protection from this threat. During the third European Political Community Summit in Granada on October 5th, a decision was adopted to transfer additional air defense systems to Ukraine. The visit of the President Volodymyr Zelensky to Spain confirmed the West's continued support for Ukraine. Spain will provide us with additional 6 launchers for the Hawk air defense system. Germany is working on the provision of additional Patriot systems.
It is always bitter for us to have to observe how the Russian attack and its consequences are actually played out. This is currently the case with the missile attacks on a grocery shop and a coffee shop in Kharkiv. These are devastating pictures, and this is shocking evidence of the brutality of the Russian attack and also an important indication of why it is right for us to support Ukraine.
Russia is using ballistic missiles to continue its systematic attacks on Ukraine. Strengthening air defense capabilities will help save the lives of our people. Moscow is accumulating missiles and drones for the winter period in order to launch strikes on Ukraine. Only effective protection of the Ukrainian sky will ensure life, light and warmth in the homes of Ukrainians. Additional air defense systems will contribute to food security in the world, protecting ports through which Ukraine exports grain from Russian shelling. That concludes our today's video. Thank you for watching and stay updated. Subscribe to our UATV English channel for more news from Ukraine. Your support really matters. Goodbye.